A lot of things this case has stopped me from doing, traveling all across the world, making. So I just want to get it over with, and, you know, accept my guilty plea. I'm ready to get over with.
Anything you want to say to your fans?
Just say a prayer for them. I just need prayer. I don't need nothing else.
Well, Charleston White was celebrating you taking the plea deal. I think he even said he hopes you die in jail and stuff like that.
Yeah, I heard.
The biggest thing right now was that you actually accepted a plea deal for your federal gun case.
Yeah.
Now, how long have you been like fighting this thing from the very, very beginning?
I've been fighting for probably 3 years now, probably.
3 years.
Boosie has been dealing with legal problems for a long time, but this time it's really serious. The federal government is building a strong case against him. His newest problem is a gun charge, and it's the worst one yet. He just found out he could be sent to prison for 10 years. As soon as that bad news came out, a man named Charleston White got involved. Charleston is known for saying loud and controversial things online. The moment he heard about Boosie's situation, he started posting about it on the internet, acting like he was happy about it.
Boosie going to jail! Oh, God! Oh, God is good. I keep telling y'all, street ain't got no God. God do not look after street. Boosie really thought he wasn't going to jail for that pistol. I knew he was going. He going to jail. All that newborn baby. Boosie won't get to see that newborn baby till that baby be walking and talking. Boosie going to jail!
Charleston was smiling, making jokes, and bragging that he had been waiting for this to happen. He said clearly that he never cared if Boosie got out of his legal trouble. It was a cold thing to say, but that's just how Charleston is. He loves drama, and this situation was like a big championship game for him. The complicated part is that Boosie had already told his fans something different. Earlier this year, he said he was tired of all the court battles and was ready to accept a deal from the prosecutors.
Where the feds picked it up.
Now it was a state case. The feds came, picked it up. They had a ruling in the Supreme Court that went in my favor, and the case got dropped by the judge. The case got dropped.
Boosie said he trusted God, but it was clear the legal case was really getting to him. It's important to remember that this exact same gun charge had been dropped back in 2023. At that time, everyone thought Boosie was finally free. It seemed like he could focus on his music, his family, and living a quiet life. But the federal prosecutors didn't give up. In 2024, they came back and charged him with the same crime again. This second time, the pressure was just too heavy to handle. Boosie gave up the fight.
He brought you up because you were attacking Kanye because of the...
Nah, it's Kanye West. It just happened. Nigga been coming at me. He been coming at me. It's just, you know, I can't respond to those people, bro. Like, that's a danger to what I got going on. You can't take no risk of losing this behind, you know.
Fans who have supported Boosie since he started in Baton Rouge know he has always lived a risky life. He has dealt with court cases, personal conflicts, and health problems. He has always managed to avoid serious trouble, both physically and with the law. But this situation feels new. A 10-year prison sentence is a very long time, and the news hit him extremely hard. The Boosie people saw online after the news broke was not the same strong person who used to argue with people on the internet. He seemed worn down and defeated, as if he had no energy left to fight. While his fans filled his social media comments with love and support, Charleston White was online acting like he had won a prize. He was smiling widely on a live video, saying he saw this coming and was excited to see Boosie fail. He even went too far by saying he hoped Boosie would never get out of prison. That was a shocking thing to say, even for someone like Charleston. But saying wild things is exactly what makes people talk about him.
I ain't really, I ain't really got no opinion on him because, my opinion can send me to prison. So I ain't really, I ain't really got no opinion on him. Once you go to threaten people, kids, talking about you out of line. So I ain't the one gonna do all that. I ain't gonna do all that. You know what I'm saying? It's just, hey, certain people you can't really express opinions on, and he one of those. You can't express how you feel because you might end up in prison. And I ain't getting tricked off the streets.
What makes this whole situation even crazier is that Charleston's problem with Boosie didn't just happen overnight. It had been building up for years, and Charleston always seemed to be waiting in the background for Boosie to make a mistake. Their drama actually started back in late 2022. That's when Kanye West caused a lot of controversy by wearing a White Lives Matter shirt. Boosie was one of the first people to speak out against it, saying Kanye was disrespecting black people. Most people agreed with Boosie's opinion, but Charleston saw it differently. He went online and started attacking Boosie for even talking about Kanye. That was the beginning of their feud. Charleston didn't just criticize Boosie. He took things much further than anyone expected. He started bringing Boosie's son, Tootie Raw, and even another celebrity's son, King Harris, into the argument. He insulted their looks and said they would end up in jail one day. That's when people realized that Charleston wasn't just trying to get attention. He was the kind of person who would target family members to cause the most pain.
Oh, just them white folk, Boosie, you done got too much. You done let these niggas play you too, motherfucker. This internet dumb and bitch. Say what little Tootie gonna do now? What little Tootie say? Listen, Vlad TV. Vlad post everybody going to jail but Boosie. Somebody tag Vlad TV.
Everyone was surprised and waiting for Boosie to fire back with his usual anger. But he surprised them all by staying quiet. Instead of posting online, he chose to be smart about it. Later, in an interview with Tony the Closer, Boosie explained his silence. He said that if he said what he was really thinking, it could get him into serious trouble. He knew that reacting badly, especially when someone was talking about children, could end with him going to jail.
I'm gonna put your in jail, nigga. Waiting for the FBI to send me the right collar number, cause I'm finna make a report on your mother people. And you make the man call your name specifically. The promoter specifically said your mother name, Lil Boosie. He implemented you and implicated you. Finna go to jail, back to jail. You gonna be on your knees, but them knees gonna be bleeding again.
So Boosie kept his cool. He said he wasn't going to let Charleston trick him into doing something reckless. This showed a different side of him. He wasn't acting out of fear, but out of caution. He understood that Charleston wanted a big reaction, and he refused to give it to him. Even so, anyone paying attention could feel the anger building just beneath the surface. By the beginning of 2023, the situation got worse. Charleston was already making fun of another rapper, T-Heavy. That's when Boosie's son, Tootie, decided he had heard enough. Tootie fired back at Charleston online, calling him old and messy. He even told Charleston he should die.
I feel, I trust in God, man. This crazy.
But Charleston, being who he is, didn't just ignore the insult. He made things much worse. He went on a live video and said something terrible. I hope your daddy dies from his diabetes. I hope they forget to give him his insulin for a month. It's hard to believe someone would say that. This was more than just mean comments. It was a cruel attack on Boosie through his son. Then, in a sad turn of events, Tootie was arrested later that same month on a gun charge. As soon as the news came out, Charleston was online bragging. He claimed he was the one responsible, saying he had called the police, sent them pictures, and given tips to the authorities.
I'm not a street kid. I'm not a criminal. I'm a kid who was raised to tell the truth. When my mama come in and say, son, what happened? Mama, I didn't do that. I got to pay for a lawyer. I got 2 lawyers, Carl Mallory and Louis Stearns. Louis Stearns became Judge Stearns, Judge Louis Stearns. But nigga, I had 2 paid for lawyers. My mama is a well-to-do mama. I'm just playing, I ain't playing. I'm an adolescent going through an adolescent stage of rebelliousness. I ain't no street. Hell yeah, I'm gonna tell on you. I've been telling since I was a little bitty boy.
He even accused Boosie of being a murderer and of using children to do his illegal work. These were crazy accusations with no evidence to back them up. But because Charleston said them so loudly, some people started to believe it. At that point, their argument moved beyond just internet fighting and started to have real-life consequences. Charleston wasn't just talking. He was actively trying to ruin Boosie's life and his son's life too. Just when it seemed things couldn't get any worse, 2023 brought more trouble for Boosie. Less than 3 months after Charleston attacked his son, Boosie himself was arrested in San Diego right after leaving a court hearing.
He pulled it off, and the hammer back on the gun.
And then what happened?
He fired.
It seemed like the legal system was just waiting to arrest Boosie again. As soon as it happened, Charleston White immediately started making jokes about it online. He went on Instagram Live and acted like a preacher, saying this was all part of God's plan for Boosie. He compared Boosie to a man thrown into a lion's den, suggesting that prison was a punishment from God. This was a new level of disrespect. Some fans thought he was just trying to get a reaction, while others thought he truly meant it. Either way, Charleston was using Boosie's pain as entertainment for his followers. That's his main strategy, turning other people's struggles into his jokes. By the summer, the constant online attacks became too much for Boosie to ignore. He finally decided to speak about it in an interview on Vlad TV. During that conversation, you could see how frustrated he was. Boosie admitted that he didn't even want Vlad to interview Charleston at all, especially after the terrible things he said about Boosie's son, Tootie. But Boosie tried to explain that he wasn't staying quiet because he was scared of Charleston. He was staying quiet to stay out of prison. His main goal was to avoid saying anything that could make his legal situation worse. Even though he was trying to act calm, it was clear that Charleston's words were always on his mind. Every time Boosie was in the news, Charleston was right there talking about him and changing the story. Then, in early 2024, the drama spread to a whole new part of the internet in a strange way. A popular video streamer named Aiden Ross had planned to have Boosie as a guest on his stream. This was a big opportunity for Boosie to be seen by a huge audience. But Boosie decided not to do it. He wanted to avoid any connection to Charleston's drama. However, Aiden Ross then went online and lied, saying that he was the one who turned Boosie down. He claimed he did this out of loyalty to Charleston White. This lie spread quickly across social media, and people started making fun of Boosie, thinking the streamer had rejected him. The truth was, Boosie was just trying to stay away from the chaos. The situation got so out of hand that DJ Vlad had to step in. Vlad got angry at Aiden for siding with Charleston, pointing out that Charleston had said terrible things in the past, like praising Hitler. Vlad calling this out showed that Charleston's influence was becoming a real problem. He wasn't just an internet troll anymore. His name had so much power that young people online were using him to get famous. But Charleston wasn't finished. In March, he went online again, claiming that Boosie was telling event promoters not to hire him. Of course, Charleston turned this into a long, angry rant. He said Boosie was making threats, and that he had already contacted the federal agents about it. He bragged about being ready to get Boosie sent back to prison, acting like the FBI was his personal security team. To make it even more hurtful, he started making rude jokes about Boosie's diabetes, treating a serious health condition as a punchline. That's Charleston's style. He always goes for the most personal and painful insults to keep everyone talking about him. This wasn't just empty talk. Boosie himself said he was getting phone calls from people who were already in prison. They were asking him when he was going to join them behind bars. Imagine dealing with a possible 10-year prison sentence and then getting calls like that. It was a kind of psychological warfare. Charleston knew exactly what he was doing. He was trying to make Boosie feel trapped even before he went to court. This pressure led to rumors that Boosie didn't want a trial at all. He just wanted to accept a deal and end the case. It's easy to understand why. Think about the possibility of Charleston showing up at the trial. If he was in that courtroom, he would have turned the entire serious event into a circus. He would likely crack jokes, point fingers, and then run to the internet to brag that he helped put Boosie in prison. This isn't just imagination, it's what Charleston does. He often brags about calling the police on people and even admits to testifying in court when he was younger. This is another important part of Charleston's story. When he was 14 years old, he was involved in a robbery where another teenager shot a man. Instead of staying quiet, Charleston testified in court against his friend. In street culture, this is often considered the worst thing you can do, being a snitch. Even though he was a kid, many people have never forgiven him for it. But Charleston doesn't hide from it. He defends his actions, saying he was young, he was in court, and he told the truth. He says it wasn't snitching, it was survival. Recently, old video from that court case resurfaced online, and people started calling him a hypocrite again. They asked how he can make fun of others for being informants when he did it himself. But Charleston just repeated that he doesn't live by the same street rules and doesn't care who he upsets. This is what makes him hard to fight. He doesn't play by the same rules as everyone else. When you look at everything together, Boosie's decision to take a plea deal, his tired attitude, the internet rumors, and Charleston's constant drama, it makes sense that Boosie just wanted the whole thing to be over. The last thing he needed was a trial that Charleston could turn into a show. Boosie wasn't running from the law, he was running from the chaos that Charleston would bring. This makes their conflict much deeper than simple online arguing. It's personal, it's messy, and it's stealing Boosie's peace of mind. Boosie's life feels like it's hanging by a thread, and Charleston White is treating it like his favorite TV show. As soon as news broke that Boosie was considering a plea deal, Charleston was online. To him, this wasn't just another rapper in trouble. It was proof that he had been right all along. He went live, bragging that everything he predicted was coming true. All the trolling and insults led to this moment, which he saw as his final victory. That's why Charleston's celebration feels so cruel. Boosie hadn't even fully come to terms with his own situation, and Charleston was already throwing a party over his downfall. Charleston even said he had been waiting and praying for this day. This shows that the problem between them isn't about fame anymore, it's personal. Charleston has been focused on Boosie since 2022, and he shows up to mock him every time something bad happens. However, not everyone is on Charleston's side. People are split. Some believe Boosie's legal troubles are his own fault, caused by years of living recklessly. They think Charleston is just saying what everyone else is thinking. But others are loyal Boosie fans. They see him as a survivor and view Charleston as a hater who is obsessed with tearing down another black man. This is the debate happening everywhere online right now. One thing is certain. If Charleston is this loud while Boosie is still free, it will be a total circus if the judge gives Boosie a 10-year sentence. Charleston will act like he won a championship. He will be on every social media platform, shouting and celebrating. He will likely keep digging up old issues and making new jokes because he gets his energy from other people's pain. Meanwhile, Boosie is trying to rely on his faith, but his messages sound tired. The confident man his fans remember is gone, replaced by someone who is preparing for the worst. When you have the federal government investigating you, Charleston White mocking you, and the internet arguing about you, finding any peace is almost impossible. This situation is about more than just a prison sentence. It's a test of Boosie's legacy. The question is whether he can ever recover from this, or if Charleston's voice will be the one people remember when they think of Boosie. This is one of the wildest conflicts in music right now because it isn't about music or money. It's built on humiliation. Charleston White made it his mission to embarrass Boosie at every turn. And now, with a decade in prison possible, Charleston is acting like he owns the internet. But there is one thing to consider. Sometimes, when a rapper goes to prison, they come back even more popular. If Boosie serves his time and returns stronger, Charleston's celebration might look foolish in the future. For now, everyone is waiting. Boosie's plea deal is being decided, people are talking, and Charleston is circling, waiting to attack whatever is left of Boosie's reputation. This story is testing loyalties and showing who is really a friend and who is hoping for Boosie's failure. No matter what side people are on, the spotlight is burning brightly. The final result will have a huge impact for a long time. So the only question left is, will Boosie be able to make a comeback, or will Charleston White have the final laugh? The answer is coming soon, and everyone is watching.